Hi guys, it's Joe back at you, and today I've got some sales tips for you. I'm going to talk about two things. Number one is the art of setting an appointment that gets kept, and the second part is follow-up calls that convert. Okay, now in addition to just some tips and things of that nature, we try to put as many resources on the back end of our website as possible. You go to the gpsassociates.com, there's the agent login, you're putting in the password at GPS Associates, and it's loaded with sales sheets and pricing models and additional sales tools like sales scripts and phone scripts and email templates and all kinds of stuff. And then there's all this research data. Okay, it's loaded. But in setting an appointment that gets kept, there's a key to it. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a couple of little tips on when you set appointments, because if you're cold calling people and trying to get in and that totally works, a lot of times you end up setting appointments with people. There's some common pitfalls that people make when setting appointments. And number one is, I would say, they give too many choices. Now, first of all, you set the time frame as far as when things are going to get set up, okay? So when you set in an appointment, you want to give two choices only. One is not a choice. Two is a choice. Three is a dilemma. Four is a nightmare. And if you leave it wide open, it's just too much for them to handle. So when I say only two, you're going to want to tell people, look, what works best for you, Thursday or Friday? Okay, great. Morning or afternoon? Okay, do you want 10:15 or 11:45? And that's how you zero in on an appointment. And then you make sure that you repeat it at the end. This is all super basic stuff. However, it's the giving two choices at a time and narrowing it in. I like to make my appointments on the 15 and the 45 as opposed to the top or bottom of the hour. There just seems to be, they take them a little bit more seriously. I think, in my own personal experience, does it work? I don't know, but I've been doing that for years, and then people generally keep appointments. Now, what about the follow-up call? When you make a follow-up call, this is another part that I think people make a pitfall, and they don't remind themselves of what is the reason for the follow-up call. So think about that for a second. Why are you even doing a follow-up call? Well, it's not to see if they have questions, right? Because you didn't start this interaction to see if you could answer questions. The interaction was started so that you could make a sale. So when you call, your follow-up is starting with that, right? As opposed to questions. A lot of people call and, hey, you know, John, it's Joe from GPS Associates. I'm calling to see if you had any questions about what we talked about. No, not really. If they have questions, they'll tell you about it. That's fine. I'm not afraid of questions. I like questions. That's engagement, right? But the reason that I called was to see if they're ready to place their order. And that's how I start my conversation. So I would say, hey, John, it's Joe from GPS Associates. I'm calling to see if you're ready to place that order. And then you just be quiet and wait and see what oh, well, you know, I had a couple questions. Okay, great, let's get to it. But you're always advancing towards that sale. Most times people don't make sales because they don't ask for it. And I know that sounds ridiculous, and you'd like to think that you're, you know, one of those people that always ask for it, but the numbers statistically prove that most people don't ask for the sale like they should. So don't fall into that. That's a pitfall that will cost you money and them opportunity to get into working with a company that's going to supply them a high quality product with a great sense of customer service and all the rest of that stuff on the back end. So there you go. The art of setting a solid appointment, two choices, and then follow-up calls that convert. Get to the point, know why you're calling, and state that objective first. Okay, couple things. I hope they're helpful. Good luck.